Hello there, gang, and welcome to another episode of Displaying-Model-Behaviour, the Earth's mightiest action figure video podcast. So take off your pants, crack a beer, let's talk toys, let's talk about the nerdy news that you need to know about. It's the only news that matters, it's good news. And on today's show, Leifeld gets blasted, Whedon gets erased, and everybody was kung fu fighting. Now, of course, here at Model Behaviour, we talk about action figures, movies, comic books, video games, pro wrestling, all points in between. But as you know, action figures always come first. Or sometimes not at all. So let's talk about them. Could you tell from the intro, I'm just in a funny kind of mood today. I almost botched saying action figures in my own video, so we're off the beaten path already. This is going to be a wild ride. This is like Mr. Toad's wild ride of videos, but you know what? Let's just go all in with it. I'm going to try and do what I call a one-take Jake, which is no editing. If I botch, I botch. We're just going to carry on and have a good time. But I'm going to do a little experiment as well, all right? I'm going to do this as a normal long-form video, but I'm also going to put out a super fast, like, news bites version covering all the same stories, but just super quick and snappy. I'm going to see which video does better. So, yeah, stay tuned for that one. So, first story, we're talking about action figures, we're talking about Mephisto, Haslab. I'm going to cover this quick because I did a whole video on it. So the first tier has been revealed for the Haslab. It's Mephisto. It's unusual for the first tier to be revealed before we actually reach it. So it seems like maybe Hasbro are trying to sort of sweeten the pot a little bit, stir up a bit more interest. Mephisto looks okay. When I first did the video, I was like, oh, he looks great. But yeah, I'm going to temper that down a little bit. He looks fine. But it seems like a bit of a shame, sort of my kind of brain fire thing of this Haslab that I sort of realized was like, the problem is that the whole point of a Kickstarter is that the thing that is the Kickstarter project, that should be what you want to back for the price. And then the tiers, as that is the whole point, should be a bonus. Whereas in this case, it's not. It's like you get given the Kickstarter and the price, and then you're like, well, hopefully the tiers will make it worthwhile. That's not how it should work. So I'm not going to be buying this myself. However, also, very fortunately, I did say originally, oh, I might buy it for the review and then sell it. I'm glad that I don't need to do that now. A good buddy of mine who is ordering it anyway said, dude, I'll just ship it to you. You can do the review and then send it on. That is model behavior right there. Dude, thank you so much. That's super awesome. That way you get what you want and I don't sort of add to the sales numbers of a project that I don't really want to support too much. So, double trouble. But yeah, Mephisto, first tier, make of it what you will. Now, speaking of Hasbro, this is really cool. We've got Hasbro PulseCon coming up on September 30th, and the host for the PulseCon pre-show is going to be none other than fellow UK YouTuber Thew Adams, who is like Mr. Transformers. That is his thing. And also, honestly, I'm really jealous of his kind of YouTubing abilities because the dude is so freaking good. He's just like so likable and charismatic and just really cool at what he does. So I'm so glad that Hasbro have actually reached out and be like, that thing you do on YouTube, can you do that for us? Also, I think it doesn't hurt that Thew seems to be like one of the nicest, most likable people on YouTube, and Hasbro could really do with some of that, so some of that magic, likable pixie dust sprinkled over the brand at the moment. So yeah, double thumbs up to Thew for getting that gig. I'm sure he's going to absolutely smash it. That for me is going to make this a more enjoyable showcase to watch, at least the pre-show. So yeah, good on you, man. I realized that I said I was going to do this as just one take, and then I realized that I paused after every single story anyway, because that's just so intrinsically in my brain. So it's not exactly a one take. If you squint, you're going to be able to see the cuts. But you know what? That's a little peek behind the curtain. So this next feature now, okay, this is dealing with Wakanda Forever figures that have not been officially released yet, giving a view of what a certain character is going to look like. All right? So if you're a little crybaby who doesn't want no spoilers, then you can skip on to the next chapter now, alright? I'll wait. There you go, I waited long enough. Ironheart has been revealed by a little sneaky photo taken, I think, over in Hong Kong, where her figure seems to have already hit the stands. And yeah, looks actually, again, pretty cool. I do like this design. It's kind of like the spirit of the modern Ironheart comic book design, but then chunkified. So she doesn't look like a standard Iron Man suit, and that's kind of cool, because it would have been so easy to just do that. But instead, she looks very much like her own thing. The mask, I think, looks a lot like Eva from Wall-E, where the eyes almost look sort of animated on a flat face. I kind of like that. I don't think that's going to be the design case, but that's what it just reminds me of. But I've got such high hopes for Wakanda Forever. Not editing this. I said I wouldn't, and I'm going to stick by that. I've got high hopes for Wakanda Forever. And I think that Ironheart will play a really pivotal role in that. I mean, they're setting her up for her own TV show. So this figure, of course, is in the windowless packaging. So hopefully what's inside does mirror the picture on the box. We can't take that for granted. So time's going to tell on that one. Hasbro, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. So yeah, she's there. She looks kind of cool. I'm looking forward to the film and seeing what the figure actually looks like. Hasbro have revealed their starting lineup, finally. It's a sport thing. I don't know anything about sport stuff. It's basketball, I know that. NBA, that stands for National Basketball Association. You see, I'm a smart cookie. I know these things. That is what it stands for, right? I just assumed. I honestly have no idea. National Basketball Association, it must be. So they've got a whole bunch of people who I don't know because I'm not a sport. But I'm going to read off what Toyark says on the information. So here we go. It says, oh gosh, it's about to rattle off the names. Okay, I'm going to be in trouble here. I mean, no disrespect to anyone whose name I mispronounce. It's not easy. So we've got Joel Embiid, Trae Young, Ja Morant, LeBron James. I know that one. Okay. Giannis. Oh, geez, Louise. Antetokounmpo. I think that's pretty good, actually. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Nailed it. Or unless I completely didn't. Luka Don. I don't know how to pronounce the little things above the letters there. Jason Tatum, that was an easier one, and Stephen Curry. So there you go. They're basketball people. The 8 figures all feature modern 6-inch scale articulation similar to Marvel Legends and Star Wars Black Series, etc. Uniforms are accurate with corporate branding included. No word yet on the sneakers based on preview pics. Okay, so I gotta say, even though I don't know basketball and clearly the names of the players, the quality of these figures looks really nice. These face sculpts, the scanning tech that they're using, this looks legit. I mean, these look really, really good. So obviously I have no interest in this at all. But just sitting back and looking at these pictures, they look really good. So if you're a sport person, then you're going to be able to sport all day with these things. Just double thumbs up for that. So stay tuned for more information, but I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to basketball figures, and you gotta be pleased by the looks of these, because just from an action figure perspective, they look really, really good. Quick update, just as I was rendering this video. These are priced at $50 each, and they're going to come with a bunch of accessories, stand, card, a digital trading card, but obviously that is very, very expensive. I don't want to comment about if prices are good, bad, or indifferent, because my goodness, we've had enough of that. So dems are the facts, and they're going to be released around about December this year. Or is it November? Either way, just in time for Christmas. So there you go. Sticking with Hasbro, got a lot of Hasbro stuff here. Over to the Star Wars Black Series, we are getting an exclusive, where's it? It's an exclusive to Amazon. We're getting an Amazon exclusive Mandalorian 3-pack of Mando, Ahsoka Tano, and Grogu. And these are all figures that we've had already, just like with little tweaks. Ahsoka Tano has the cloth goods, which that's kind of cool. We always like a bit of cloth goods, make things feel a little bit more luxurious, a little more zhuzhed up. This episode is like Dave with cloth goods. I've got the jacket accessory, but it's getting cold now, so I get to bust out the Marvel coat. So yeah, this is one of those ones that, like, it's inoffensive. People can say, geez, they're doing these figures again, but I mean, what's nice is that there's nothing in this pack that you can't buy as a single item. So don't really matter, does it? That's absolutely fine. It ain't hurting nobody. I mean, it's a lot of money. It's $66.99. Hoo-ha! With an estimated January 2023 shipping date. So, but yeah, if you want it, you can get it. If you don't, you're not missing out on nothing. So it's just another chance to, for Hasbro to give a squeeze of the lemon to get some of that sweet Mando juice dripping into their mouths. That sounds so strange. This is what happens when I don't edit things. Loose Collector are offering a She 6-inch action figure. I was about to pause there and do a retake, and I was like, nah, we're not doing that. We're sticking with this, even if I get a little confused. This is a funny thing, though. The figure looks great, and it was up at Big Bad Toy Store for a while. And then I went to get some pictures of it, and it's gone. And I don't know where it went to. So maybe it's been pulled back or put off, or maybe the page has just been taken down for editing. I don't know. But this morning, when I was trying to find it, it weren't there. Which also means I can't double check the price. But I think it should be going for about $70-ish, $70, maybe. I've got to admit, I would actually be a little bit tempted. Because I kind of like this sort of cool, awesome samurai, geisha girl, badass warrior looking figure. I remember She comics from the mid-90s. That was when I was kind of socially aware of the character. She actually had a TV show, didn't she? I think Tia Carey from Wayne's World played her for a cup of coffee at least. Or maybe it was just a pilot. I'm going to double check that when I do the editing. But yeah, the figure looks great. I hope that it is available for pre-order at some point. Loose Collector, they make big, great, high-end 6-inch action figures. So yeah, fingers crossed this will come back up for pre-order soon and you can get your fix of She. I'm doing a lot of double thumbs up. Maybe that's something to do with this new format I'm doing. Or if you're listening to this on the podcast, then you can't see it. But trust me, it's a lot of thumbs up happening. Let's move on over now to the sort of equivalent, the other side of the coin from Hasbro. It's DC Multiverse. Again, that would have been an edit. Not going to do it. We're going to stick with it. This is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride for episode 4 of the Model Behavior video podcast thingamajig, whatever we call this now. It's still good news, pretty much. So, Flash zombie version from the Speed Metal story. Man, you can tell when I'm talking about DC stuff and I'm like, oh, Dave doesn't really know these characters very well. So I gotta say, actually, he does look really good. This is actually a McFarlane figure where just the sculpting and the paint, Todd loves his horrific characters. If I was a DC collector, I would be kind of annoyed just by geez, another zombie variant or another heavy metal variant. Can we just get our new characters, please? That's one thing I'll give Hasbro credit for, is they really do give us so much variety of actual characters. Yes, we get a lot of Spider-Man variants or Wolverine variants, but my goodness, we also get the Human Fly or Razorback, so that is one thing that's great about Hasbro, where I think McFarlane DC, maybe they would appease their audience a lot more if they did do just more unique characters and less monsters. But then again, I don't know. They seem to be making money, so more power to them. Trick or Treat Studios, just in time for Halloween, are giving us Rob Zombie House of 1,000 Corpses figures. These are the little 5-inch ones with the limited articulation, but they do look very quirky, very grim, as the movie is. Rob Zombie is just... I don't really get the appeal of Rob Zombie movies. They're just nasty, which feels like for nasty's sake. I don't know. Clearly, it's an acquired taste that actually a lot of folks do like. So I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying I don't like them. But that's okay. Some people don't like me. It's hard to imagine, I know, and they're clearly wrong, but it is the case. So hey, if you like House of 1,000 Corpses, then that's awesome. You got some action figures for them. Let me read you some of the info from Toy Arc here. It says the retro style figures include about 5 points of articulation. Wave 1 included Captain Spaulding, who is now available, while there are 4 Wave 2 figures available, along with a retro style collector's case. Each figure and the case include a Build-A-Figure piece to create the tiny figure. So the list of what's included here are House of 1,000 Corpses action figure collector's case, Driller Killer Dr. Satan action figure, finger licking pistol whipping Captain Spaulding action figure, Rabbit Roasting Otis Driftwood figure, jeez Louise, Rippin' Axe Professor action figure, Showtime Baby Firefly action figure. That's a whole lot of character names that I wasn't familiar with, but the figures are priced at $19.99 each, while the collector's case is priced at $29.99. Look for these figures to begin shipping out February 20th, 2023. So batten down the hatches and get ready for some Grindhouse, cause Rob Zombie's coming to your shelf. So this one now is a bit more my speed. Star Ace Toys have revealed their 1/6 scale Bruce Lee statue from Way of the Dragon. That's not bad, Bruce Lee. So this is the movie where he fights Chuck Norris. If you ever want to see that iconic Clash of the Titans type martial arts fight from the 70s, that's the one to look for. You can probably find the fight scene on YouTube. It's pretty badass. While you're there, go over to Model Behaviour and just binge watch all the rest of the videos you know you want to. So this statue is mixed media, which is kind of nice. So it's got some cloth goods and different things. It's not just like, solid statue. So that's kind of cool. And there are two different versions as well. There's the basic one, and there's the one with the light up base that's a bit more bells and whistles, a bit more bang for your buck, if you will. So the basic statue is going to be coming in at $329.99, whereas the more bells and whistles deluxe one is $369.99. And it was interesting. Someone said to me the other day, they were like, how can you complain about a Haslab price when you talk about statues that are 5 times that? And I think it's just, I don't know about production or anything, but I guess statues they have to be hand painted and crafted and stuff. I think it's just like the finicky. You see a gigantic apocalypse statue. That's not just pushed out of a factory mold. There's more to it, I guess. But again, I don't know. If there's a statue expert out there, tell me why statues are so expensive. Surely I could just 3D print one in my kitchen, no? But that would be really interesting to find out. Either way, the Bruce Lee statue, it's Bruce Lee. Is instantly going to have a bit of a good impression on me. I love Bruce Lee. So yeah, this looks kind of cool. Super 7, again, we're getting Halloween-y, which I freaking love, are showing their bodega figures. The bodega has opened. This is like their sort of marketing branding for this kind of series of figures, which are mostly kind of repaints and recreations, but they do look kind of fun. Again, let me just read you some of the info from my notes here. September 26th, Super 7 will open their bodega. This celebration of all things spooky will include a number of reaction figures with updated paint schemes and card art. Some of the figures and card backs will include glow-in-the-dark paint decos. They have revealed a bunch of releases for the event, included so far. Here's where I get to list them off. All right, strap yourselves in. We've got My Pet Monster, and My Pet Monster was huge in the 80s. When I was a little kid in school, I was so jealous of some kids who had a My Pet Monster because I really wanted one, but it was actually quite expensive, and my family, we were comfortable, but we weren't My Pet Monster comfortable. Then also they've got They Live Glow in the Dark, and these look super cool because they actually changed the writing depending on how you see it. So just like the movie, it's like consume and all that sort of thing. That's a really clever tie-in to the product that they're doing. I really dig the creativity there. That's awesome from Super 7. Then Mars Attacks, again, glow in the dark. Mars Attacks is something that always fascinated me as well. When I would see the artwork when I was a kid and the cards and stuff, because it's intentionally gross and visceral and it feels subversive, especially when you're a kid looking at these things and it's like, they can't show that. So that's kind of cool. I do like Mars Attacks. Not the Tim Burton film so much though. Then you got Frankenstein, which is just Frankenstein. I'm not going to wax lyrical on that too much. You got Wing Kong. Never seen that before, but if a giant gorilla isn't bad enough, you're going to put wings on him. What are you doing? Madness. And then finally, Mr. Bones, glow in the dark figure, which again, that all looks kind of fun. For all you Masters of the Universe collectors out there, we have the Stand of Power, which I'm not sure is an official release or if it's a third-party thing. When I was reading on Toy Arc, I'm not sure if they were too certain either, but it's essentially a stand that fits for your Masters of the Universe figures from pretty much any line as well. So from the smaller ones to the bigger size, they'll all work on there. And it's a fun little display piece. And they all sort of tessellate together. So you can actually make a really nice ongoing display if you want to. I'll give you some of the info here. It says they retail, or a box of stands, retails for $69.99. That's for a case of 6, or $12.99 for one. And yeah, literally from Toy Arc, they say, we don't believe these are officially licensed, just inspired by and or happen to work with Masters of the Universe. So legally distinct Masters of the Universe stands. McFarlane DC have also shown their Target exclusive Black Adam figure with throne. Now this is cool. Thrones are all the rage right now. Everybody wants a throne. And if you want one for $20, this is a pretty good deal here. I mean, geez Louise. A Black Adam figure, a single figure right there. Boom, $20. That's money well spent. If you like Black Adam. If you don't, then what are you doing? You know, give your money to me instead. You like me, don't you? I mean, geez Louise, if you've watched the video this far, then you better. Otherwise, this must be torture for you. So, yeah, $20 for Black Adam plus a throne? That's a good deal as far as I'm concerned. Especially, you could take that throne, you could repurpose it, you could repaint it. If you're going in on the Haslab and you're getting Mephisto, you could get that throne, paint it black, boom. I see a gold throne and I want it painted black. Not that you should have to spend an additional 20 quid to get a throne, but the less said of that, the better, am I right? Literally, the less said of that, the better. I don't want to be involved in this conversation anymore, and yet you keep mentioning it. But this looks really good. So Target exclusive, Black Adam with a throne, $20. McFarlane, I'm not the biggest McFarlane fan, but dude, I gotta call it like I see it. That's a hell of a deal. Super quick one here. Jaded Toys have just shown a full reveal picture of their Chester Cheetah figure. No other information besides the fact that we already know it ain't easy being cheesy. But that's not all for Jaded Toys. They also showed an image of their Mega Man figure, Fireman. Why did I have to check my notes for that? I knew it was a Mega Man figure who was flame-based. How did I not just guess Fireman? Well, there you go, because I wanted to get it right. That's why. I'm not going to fault myself for being a perfectionist. I'm not a perfectionist. Still, he looks pretty cool as well. So, Jaded Toys, Chester Cheetah, and Mega Man. They're just covering whatever they want, aren't they? They are a company of pure chaos. I love it.
Hey there, Billy. What's wrong? Look around you. The sky's gray, it's raining, everything just is lame. It's stupid and lame.
Hey there, kids. You know, complaining about stuff isn't going to solve your problem. You need to be proactive about changing your life. And that means joining the Model Behavior Patreon. Have you done that yet?
Oh man, I can't believe I hadn't thought of doing that.
Exactly. You see, just mentioning the Model Behavior Patreon made the skies turn blue and everything seem less lame.
Man, joining the Model Behavior Patreon really is magic.
That's right. When you join the magical Model Behavior Patreon, everything just becomes awesome.
The Model Behavior Patreon. Might not make everything awesome.
Going over to video game news, this is kind of a fun one. Bleeding Cool reported, this is where I reported it, or I read it anyway, it could have been reported elsewhere. Ted Lasso and his team from the Apple TV show is going to be featured in FIFA 23. That's just kind of fun. I'm not a football person, but I like that sort of media crossover. So if you're a Ted Lasso fan and you enjoy playing FIFA, boom, there you go. You can actually recreate sort of the story of that TV show. Let me read off what was on Bleeding Cool here. It says EA Sports will be doing the ultimate crossover of kindness. You know what? I think that's what some of my YouTube crossovers are. That's what we aim to be. It's the crossover of kindness. Ted Lasso at AFC Richmond will be added to FIFA 23. This may be the final season of the show, but the team behind the game is looking to make sure everyone's favorite transplant coach is solidified in one of their entries. Lasso will be a selectable coach in career mode, while the team of AFC Richmond will be yours to select as you can try to bring them to glory. That's kind of fun. I won't play it because I'm not a football guy, but just the fact they're doing it, I kind of like that. And in less friendly video game news, IGN has a preview up of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre online, not necessarily online, I mean you have to be online to play it I suppose, multiplayer Texas Chainsaw Massacre video game. Asymmetrical multiplayer. So it's another one of those ones where someone is the killer and a bunch of people have to get away from them. And watching this preview and hearing the commentary talk about it, this sounds really, 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 really good. I mean, I'm a big horror fan. Even though I was saying that I don't like the Rob Zombie movies, I don't know, that's completely contradictory because I do enjoy Texas Chainsaw. So the idea, of course, is you can be Leatherface or any other ones from the horrible, hideous family trying to track down and chase all the poor victims. And what's really cool is there's like fear meters and stuff, and if you're playing as Leatherface, you get more power if you rev your chainsaw, but if you rev it too much, then you lose it, and if you get it just right, then you can just kill them with one strike. Like, that's fun, that's innovative, that's a different way of doing things. I really dig that. The graphics look awesome. I mean, man, next-gen gaming, you gotta love it. One day I'll have a PS5, and then probably the output of this channel will slow down to a crawl because I'll be too busy gaming. But hey, that's something to look forward to in the future. In the meantime, this game does look pretty wicked. Over in comic book news now, and this is kind of a nice story, the new episode, the new issue of Edge of the Spider-Verse features a spider character who uses crutches, Sun Spider. And as a kind of tie-in and a nice sort of promotion, the company, or a company that makes kind of bespoke crutches, are giving away a whole bunch of them. So let me just read off the info, because you could see I was already struggling there. So 35 mobility aid crutches are given away alongside Edge of the Spider-Verse number 3. Rich Johnston at Bleeding Cool News writes, ahead of today's publication of Edge of the Spider-Verse number 3 from Marvel Comics featuring the Sun Spider version of Spider-Man, the writer T. Franklin tweeted, Sun Spider giveaway, Smart Crutch USA and I are giving away 8 free mobility aid crutches starting tomorrow. Follow both myself and Smart Crutches on Twitter and Instagram for more information on how to enter. And originally, yes, they said 8 pairs of crutches. It turns out they've given away at least 35 at this point. And that's kind of nice. Now, you know me. I don't like drama or anything like that. I'm only kidding. I love drama, as long as it doesn't involve me. So this is a fun little story. Rob Liefeld, he posted a picture of an alternate cover that he did for a Marvel comic. I don't think it's actually been released what the alternate cover was for, but it was featuring Spider-Man and his assorted rogues gallery, and one of his former artists... they were not backward in coming forward when it comes to their assessment of his artwork. Let me give you some of the info here. Don Simpson has a few things to say about Rob Liefeld's Whatnot cover. Whatnot is the app that he posted the cover on to promote it. And also, this is from Bleeding Cool. Also, really good website for this kind of information. So this is, again, Rich Johnston writing. I'm just stalking this dude now. If you want the full story, go and check it out. In a now deleted tweet, Rob Liefeld posted the art from an upcoming variant cover of his exclusive on the Whatnot app. Yeah, there you go. On the 5th of October. It's based on his cover to New Mutants 98 over 30 years ago. Yeah, so this is Spider-Man in the similar sort of pose as the New Mutants were. You get what I'm saying. So the article goes on to state... the cover is now going viral, and it caught the attention of creator Don Simpson, who drew Megaton Man comics and 1963 at Image Comics back in the day. And he sort of said himself, like, he's not sort of the same kind of level of fame or notoriety, but he knows good and bad art when he sees it. And by his opinion, well, I'll tell you his opinion. Don Simpson, quote, "Folks, the American comic book is officially dead. This is the worst POS I have ever seen in my life." He added in his comments, "I've seen a lot of bad art, student art and so on, but what is conceptually hard to process is this is somehow, quotation marks, professional. Yikes. The playground argument is always, you're just jealous. Yeah, I'm jealous. I sure wish I had his drawing ability." Now, even though sarcasm does not translate in written form, because believe me, I've tried, and also misunderstood when other people have as well. There's so many misunderstandings on the internet when people just don't know that folks are being sarcastic. I really thought I'd upset someone the other day, and then they were like, "No, dude, I was being sarcastic." I'm like, how do I know that? Either way, this is just a little bit of someone calling out Liefeld, and I can see it as well. I mean, I can't draw, but I can tell when maybe someone hasn't put as much effort as they could have. Because Rob Liefeld, like, you can't get that kind of level of success and not have some modicum of talent. right? I mean, I used to quite like his artwork back in the 90s. Nonetheless, though, a little bit of Twitter drama. It's always fun to see. Over in movie news, I just want to kind of help stoke the flames and build up the anticipation for Halloween-Ends. Coming out in about 3 weeks, just in time for Halloween. We're getting loads of featurettes and behind-the-scenes bits and pieces, and I'm trying to avoid seeing too much because I want to go in fresh. Halloween, Michael Myers, one of my biggest, most favorite horror icons. I think Jason's got to be number one. Mike is going to be right behind him, number two there. Freddy Krueger, like, is kind of fun, but just like, Mike and Jason, those are the ones I'm a big fan of. And I've loved the first two Halloween movies of this little trilogy here. I mean, they're not perfect, but they are really good, I think. Really sort of loyal to the original ideas and concepts and source material, and then going off in their own ways. I thought it was great. A lot of people thought Halloween Kills last year wasn't that good or was a bit too silly or whatever. I loved the silly. I was there for it. I embraced it. Such a good time. So I cannot wait for Halloween-Ends to see how Laurie Strode and Michael finally wrap up their saga. And again, what's kind of nice with this and so many other kind of horror franchises is if you don't like this story, it doesn't have to be canon for you. I mean, this is how Laurie Strode is going to end the story with Michael this time around, as opposed to the previous time they did it in Halloween Resurrection, or the time before that. You can have whatever version you want. It really is like a Spider-Verse of Michael Myers, and I kind of dig that. Either way, I'm going to be there opening night for Halloween Kills. Ends. Whatever. I'm not editing this. Over in Warner Brothers land, and this is a little interesting tidbit, is that WB have taken out Joss Whedon footage from the newest Black Adam trailer. I know I'm getting sick of talking about Black Adam as well, but this is just kind of cool because people were surprised when the newest trailer had footage from the Joss Whedon Justice League movie, which, let's face it, is widely derided as being pants, because it is. Whereas that's very rare that I'll actually say like something is bad like it's a statement of fact. But I mean, come on, guys. Y'all gonna defend that to me? But okay, fine, just to cover myself, it is subjectively bad to me. There you go. But the HBO Max epic Zack Snyder cut seems to be the one that people actually want to be canon. And it seems like Warner Brothers might be moving more in that direction. Before, they were always like, no, that's an Elseworlds additional thing. The Joss Whedon movie is the official canon part of the franchise. But now, after releasing the trailer with that footage, they've actually plucked that out and then recut it without any of the Whedon stuff. Maybe that's because also there's a lot of toxic reporting about Joss Whedon's working environment and the way that he treats the people on set. So maybe they want to distance themselves from that. And honestly, it makes sense to make the Snyder Cut the more official one because it's the much better movie. Is it like great? I wouldn't go that far, but heck, it's a massive improvement to the Whedon cut, and that's probably not a bad thing. Now, this is a bit cheeky, but you don't mind a little bit of cheekiness every now and then. There is a fan edit poster to drum up a little bit of excitement for the Daredevil Born Again series, incorporating Daredevil in his yellow and red costume alongside Frank Castle's Punisher. And this was done by Rahal Arts on Instagram. Go check him out. Give him a like and a follow. Tell him Model Behaviour sent you. He'll be like, who? And then you can be like, well, Model Behavior's like, I'm kidding. Of course I know who Model Behaviour is. That guy's a douche. No, anyway. So this is... he's the kind of guy who puts images in thumbnails that are just going to be so clickbaity. I know, but come on. Dude's got to earn a living, am I right? Why am I having this argument with myself? So he does a great job, though. This poster looks really cool, and it does give you a little bit of an excited feel as to what this Daredevil show might be like. I hope they do go a little grittier than current Marvel, but not too much. It's so hard to tell because he's debuting in She-Hulk, which is the least gritty thing that they've put out, arguably. So who knows what it's going to be like. But there are all these rumors at the moment as well that, yes, John Bernthal, I'm so bad. The Punisher dude, there are rumors that he is coming back to play the Punisher. Similarly, the dude who plays Foggy is rumored to be coming back as well. And they have kind of said that this is not the Netflix universe, but it's just like a parallel universe. So things will be different. And what is in the Netflix shows is not gospel anymore because we're not in that reality. I'm fine with that, absolutely. So whenever Born Again comes out, that's one I'm really excited for. And this little image by Rahal Arts, great work, dude, because it's getting me excited for the project. Just a little news story now. Marvel have released an image of a cover with Spider-Man and Magic in their costumes from the new Midnight Suns game, and this is just kind of fun to see. I like different costume designs. It's always fun to check out. Midnight Suns is a game that looks technically like it's going to be decent. It's not my thing. Turn-based strategy, too much numbers, too many maths, too many things to confuse my poor brain. It's not my type of game, but I'm sure for others, if you like your turn-based strategy, this is going to have, be just for you. It's going to look awesome. Still, I like the designs. I think they look pretty wicked. I'm interested to see what people think of the game. Even if I don't play it, I'll watch the reviews. Adam Brunner over at Screen Rant has an article on a new comic series called All Against All from Image Comics, and it's pitched as Planet of the Apes and Battle Royale, and that is just two great tastes that I have a feeling are going to taste great together. Battle Royale, one of my favorite mangas and movies of all time, so freaking good. And Planet of the Apes, I mean, come on. I hate every ape I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee. No, you'll never make a monkey out of me. This is what happens when I don't edit stuff. That would not have stayed in the original cut. So, I'm going to just read a little bit from the article. Go check it out at Screen Rant. This unique and imaginative new sci-fi series from Image Comics is set in the distant future where a race of aliens known only as the Operators have preserved the world's most savage creatures in artificial habitats. Without any bodies of their own, the Operators harvest them from other species to use as organic exosuits to wage a never-ending war. However, the aliens severely underestimate the strengths of the lone human inhabitant of the habitat, named Helpless, and their attempt to harvest an apex predator goes much different than they expect. I gotta say, this looks cool. This is going to be a rare comic that I think I'll buy day and date, because I want to see what this is all about. Disney have released a new trailer for their Strange World movie, which is coming out in November. This is, this year's offering, basically. And I do always think it's a bit of a shame that now we just have this one homogenized Pixar CGI kind of style. Like, this is Disney now, going forward forever. And that kind of makes me sad. I miss classic Disney animation because it feels like all of these, even though they're good, I mean, I quite enjoyed Encanto, but they just feel like they're all a bit cookie cutter, and I don't know if, like, in 20 years' time, people are going to be remembering Encanto like they remember The Lion King and Aladdin. Hey, prove me wrong, Disney. Prove me wrong. But let me just give you the info on this movie, because, again, it looks like it's fun. The write-up is, this feature film introduces a legendary family of explorers, the Clades, as they attempt to navigate an uncharted, treacherous land alongside a motley crew that includes a mischievous blob, a three-legged dog, and a slew of ravenous creatures. Inspired by the classic adventure stories, said Don Hall, the director, Strange World is an original animated adventure comedy about three generations of the Clade family who overcome their differences while exploring a strange, wondrous, and oftentimes hostile world. Strange World is scheduled to premiere in theaters on November 23rd. Now, again, it looks good, but just reading that, you've got cute, quirky creatures, you've got family dynamics, you've got overcoming adversity and learning a lesson. It's like, it's so just all the typical things from Disney. It's like Disney bingo. So it doesn't sound like the most daring project. Very, very safe Disney movie. But also, I think the creators are the same people who did Big Hero 6, which was great. So, yeah, I'm probably not going to make a cinema trip to see it, but when it's on Disney+, yeah, I'll give it a watch. Going over to wrestling quickly, and WWE are still they're doing good stuff. They are now doing this whole campaign of teasing a new debut or a return, perhaps. We don't know who it is yet, but it looks like it may very well be the return of Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, or some other version of him and his character. First of all, they started playing the music White Rabbit in the arena during breaks and when TV was off, and that's really interesting because White Rabbit, the last time I heard that was when it was used in the new Matrix movie trailer. The whole idea of White Rabbit is that it's basically about taking drugs and tripping balls. That's what that's about. So it fits the demon Bray Wyatt kind of character really, really well. The whole point is it's weird, it's uncomfortable, it's a bit freaky. It's an awesome song, but that would fit his persona. Also, they were showing these random QR codes, and this is just more creative stuff that WWE don't normally do. They had someone walking through the crowd on Raw with a sign with a QR code. Like, that's really clever. And when you go and look at it takes you to a game of Hangman that's being played out. And the first letters spell demon, which again is like Bray Wyatt, the Fiend. This is really creative stuff. I dig it. And then in the newest poster for their Extreme Rules events, you can see a lantern like right in the background with some fireflies. Again, Bray Wyatt. I just think it's so cool to see some creative thought coming out of this company that seemed to be bereft of it for the longest time. So WWE, can of Coke to you. That's really awesome. Going over to AEW now, they had the first night of their Grand Slam event, and it was a good night of solid professional wrestling. Sometimes that's all you need. And like, if you haven't seen AEW Grand Slam, like, spoilers here, okay? So like, skip on if you don't want to hear about AEW Grand Slam, the event I'm about to spoil. Okay. So, the main news is that Jon Moxley beat Bryan Danielson to become the AEW champion for a third time. And it's like, is this dude ever going to go on vacation? He's not even supposed to be here. And he's now the 3-time AEW champion. And what's kind of funny is they went off the air with William Regal coming into the ring and taking the belt from him, and Daniel Bryan snatching it off him, and then like it looked like something was about to happen, and then it cut. So, I don't know. Tune into Rampage. That got me hooked. The biggest news, the other biggest news, because there's obviously two biggest newses, is that Saraya, the former Paige from WWE, debuted. She came out at the end of the Women's Championship match. And this is very intriguing, because she has been out of action for several years now with a very bad neck injury, but we don't know what her medical status is. She hasn't called me up to say. But if she can actually wrestle safely, then God bless her. I hope she can do, because that would be great to see her back in the ring. And it's a big coup for AEW. If she's just a personality, an announcer or a manager, that's fine, but not really going to make such an impact. But I'm just glad to see her doing so well. I knew her personally when she was a kid. Her father's promotion in the UK was the first one I ever wrestled for. So I knew her when she was like, knee-high to a grasshopper. And we'd have car rides up and down the UK with her and her family. Great people. Much love to the Knight family. But yeah, that's a little 6 degrees of separation thing. So it was lovely to see her on TV doing awesome, so much love to Saraya. And then also the tag team titles changed hands as well, and that was just great because the Acclaimed beat Swerve in Our Glory, and right now every time the Acclaimed come out, it's just joyous. It's just, I think the crowd gets the sense of euphoria with the whole "Scissor me, daddy-o!" You can't hear that and not be happy. So when they won, the place exploded. It was awesome. I think it was a bit of a shame that Swerve in Our Glory, they could have had a longer reign. They were really picking up speed, but the Acclaimed, it's their moment, so that was awesome to see. Also, Chris Jericho beat Claudio Castagnoli to become the Ring of Honor champion, which is great, but also that's the only gripe I have, is that 3 matches in a row, the first 3 matches in a row, all had the referee getting distracted, and then the heel grabbing a foreign object and cheating to win. And it's like, jeez. Well, except for the tag match, the heels didn't win. But it was the same thing. Referee gets distracted, object used, discarded. It's like, damn it, D'Lo. Did no one talk to each other and say like, oh, maybe we shouldn't all do this spot 3 times in a row? Because to do it once is too much, because it's such a hammy, hokey spot. And all it does is put heel heat on the referee for being stupid and bad at their job. And normally, like, they have to pretend that they are blind and distracted by a penny or something. It looks bad. So AEW, bad. That wasn't good. But besides that, the rest of the show, fantastic. It was really, really good. And sometimes really, really good, it's good enough. Over in Cosplay Corner now, I'm going to shout out Snarky J Cosplay. She does great, bright, colourful, very sort of creative looking cosplay. Check her out on Instagram. I'm not going to sort of wax lyrical too much because I realised that when you do these cosplay shout-outs, which are always fun to do, and gives me something pretty to put in the thumbnail, if I could put myself in the thumbnail and get as many clicks, you know I would do, but I don't know, a slightly out of shape, receding hairline, 40-year-old dude, just like, it's not that enticing. I know, crazy. But this lady, she's awesome at what she does. Fantastic cosplay. She's got a great following. So just go add your name to it because she does good stuff and that's always nice to see. And finally, Tom Hardy enters an MMA contest secretly in the UK and wins. Fair play to him. What a funny, weird, quirky, off-the-wall sort of story. Tom Hardy actually lives in London, not far from where I'm based. Like a friend of mine knows him, their kids go to the same school. That's kind of nice. So he entered this MMA contest under his real name, which I think is Edward Hardy. So no one knew like, oh, it's Tom Hardy. But yeah, he just apparently turned up and according to the reports and the news articles, was a nice, cool, sound as a pound, very humble kind of dude. And yeah, it's not like he walked in and he was like, behold, I am Tom Hardy. I'm here to kick your ass, which is totally what I would have done. And then I would have got my ass handed to me. That's why I don't do mixed martial arts. But yeah, he entered and he won. So it's kind of great that he is a film star who, and let's face it, he's pretty much an A-list film star who, plays tough guys, but he actually is someone who genuinely, he can handle himself. And it's nice that he's not the kind of person who walks around with his chest puffed out like he can. He's just, no, I enjoy doing MMA. I'm going to go test myself at this local contest. And I think that's really fun. So yeah, good on you, Tom Hardy. That's a nice little fun news story to finish with. And folks, that does it for Good News or Model Behaviour Live, whatever I'm calling this show for today. Really weird off-the-wall kind of episode where I was trying to just go for it without doing too much editing. So I hope you enjoyed this. And I'm going to do a super condensed version of this video covering all the same stories as well, and we'll see which one people prefer. So yeah, stay tuned for that one, because I think this one's going to be epic. The other one's going to be like 5 minutes. I'm just going to whiz straight through it. So gang, thank you so much for watching. If you want to support the channel further, you can go over to patreon.com/displaying-model-behaviour. You can sign up there, you can watch all the exclusive videos, and also you can join the Model Behaviour Discord. There is a Patreon exclusive Discord server. So if you want to message me directly, probably to complain about something, no, all the messages are lovely actually, then you can do it over at the Discord. But gang, thank you so much for watching. What do you think about the stories covered? Comment below, let me know. And also this is going to be available as a podcast as well. So if you look up Model Behaviour Podcast on your various podcast servers, you should be able to find it there. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll know which server I need to add it to. So gang, thank you very much once again for watching, and until next time, I'm going to retake that one. It's better. Keep displaying model behavior.
Cup of coffee.